Hello, hello.
Jamal,
There he is. What's going on, man?
How y'all doing?
Trying to live like you.
Well, Jamal Finkley, BLACKTREE TV. Now, you have a kind of like a huge task to meet the excitement of WandaVision. And after just watching the first episode, I was like, wow, I loved how WandaVision was different in a format and like kind of groundbreaking for a TV show. And then this gives me like this feels like full Avenger. This feels like the movies to me. So I mean, how does it feel from going from making these 2-hour movies to now making like a 6 to 10-hour movie that y'all doing with this series? Like, how is it different for you as an actor in that character space to make a long form movie in a sense? Sebastian, I'll start with you.
Well, it's like first thing that came to my mind when you said that was just more responsibility. It's like we have 6 hours worth of content that we want to make interesting. We want to make it fun, and we want to have our own thing. And we're very different than WandaVision. It's true. It's like our world is much more familiar to the movies, to sort of the tone of those Winter Soldier and Civil War films that you've seen. But yeah, I'm really excited for people to see it and see if they get hooked the same way.
Yeah. Anthony, with this role and both of you guys having to follow up on what Steve Rogers did and carry this weight of his legacy, I wonder, like, how do you relate to that as a Black actor? Like, I mean, it's not exactly being Captain America, but a lot of times people put the responsibility of a whole racist progress either in the industry, or they want to ask questions about a Black Lives Matter situation with you. And are you ever like reluctant, as it seems Sam's character is, to carry that weight of the shield? Does it ever feel like heavy to you to have to carry the weight of a race in a sense sometimes?
Of course. Not because I don't believe in my opinion, but we're in the generation that attacks success. So if you're a successful person with an opinion, you're dismantled and destroyed without any protection or any way of correcting that. So, with Sam and the moniker of the Falcon, it's more so about him doing well for all people. It's more so about him standing up for all people. It's more so about him being a light or a beacon of hope for all people. And that's something that does not take away from him being Black, but it definitely adds to him being an American and definitely adds to him being a human.
And lastly, like, I mean, what is it? We always see these stories where it's like a reluctant hero, but is there a reluctant villain? And I know like the line between villain and hero is mixed, especially with your character, Sebastian, but do we ever feel like there's the reluctant villain on the same side as the reluctant hero?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of the series that obviously, you've seen the first episode and that introduces you to something, and particularly these guys, but there's a lot coming of what you're talking about, and the series has done really well, not only with our characters, but also with Emily Van Camp's character, Wyatt Russell, Daniel Brew, like all the characters have very full-fleshed, complex personalities in the show, and that's a big question, whether what line do they all fall under?
Well, thanks for taking the time. I'm really excited to see how the fans are going to be so excited about this. Just seeing all the WandaVision trend, I'm just so excited to see this thing drop and people be like so like fiending for the next episodes of what's going to happen. Thanks for doing a great job and keeping these characters alive, and hope to see you guys soon on the other side of this pandemic, man. Take care.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. Be safe.
Hey, Malcolm, I don't know if you recall, but we spoke briefly after the Truth Be Told premiere at the Academy.
Okay.
And we talked about like some of the future stuff you got going on. But when I look back and look at Truth Be Told and Our Family Wedding, when did you get the pedigree for the comic world? Was this always something that you looked at as a kid? Like how were you able to produce this type of product? You know, like where did this come from?
So I gotta say, I'm from Berkeley. That was a comic book city. You know what I'm saying? We grew up with comics and best of two worlds. Me and my boys lived in them comic book stores. It was a way to escape from just regular BS. You know what I'm saying? So I was steeped in it from an early age, and I was a huge fan of Marvel. I work in features, so a lot of stuff I'm doing is stuff you'll never read about. You know what I'm saying? So I had chops that might not be apparent from looking on the internet, but the truth is, it was always a dream of mine to work up there, and anyone who knows me knows that. And when this one came around, I was just like, man, I got to get in there, and I pushed hard and shanked a lot of people.
1 minute to drop off, Sam. So what's our plan? Great. So no plan. 30 seconds!
Enjoy your ride, Buck.
No, you can't call me that.
Why not? That's what Steve called you.
Steve knew me longer, and Steve had a plan. 15 seconds to drop!
I have a plan.
Really? What is it?
I wonder, like, there's a lot of parallels when you look at, you know, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, especially the weight of Captain America's shield. And I look at a lot of things. First, filling in the void for Chad Boseman. I mean, if that's even possible, is like a weight. And also being a Black producer within Marvel. I mean, I know you have Nate and you have the Coogler that's produced, but do you ever like shun that weight just like Sam did? Like, do you ever like kind of afraid of the weight of representing a race of people's aspirations and dreams as this Black producer at Marvel or whatever? Because I know that you get the Black questions, you know?
Yeah, nah, you learn to embrace it. I've been in Hollywood long enough that what's happening right now and this renaissance of all these Black voices starting to get a shot, that's rare to me, and that's magic, right? And for cats my age who came up when, if you look at the slate, almost nothing Black was getting made. And the stuff we were told and the biases we faced, like people would just straight up tell you stuff that would get them fired today. And that was just 5 years ago, bro. That was just like right before Empire hit. So nah, to me, it's a badge of honor. You definitely feel a responsibility. I know that Black icons are crucial for a bunch of reasons. I know, like you said, you'll never touch what Coogler and Chadwick and Joe Robert Cole did with Black Panther. Just the size of it and the impact of it, it's just untouchable. What I felt though in seeing my nephew wear, you know, Black Panther costumes year round, even not on just Halloween, is the importance of these icons. You know, we got to push for them. We got to push for them because the world needs to see them and the world needs to see us as heroic. But we also got to push for them because they create opportunities in Hollywood. If every time someone like Anthony or Chadwick or Denzel or Will Smith becomes somebody who has international box office power, that creates a Black superstar who then trickles down and creates opportunities for Black creatives and more Black actors to come up. So I took that on. We all have, there's a whole bunch of us in the business now where there wasn't before, and we all feel an obligation to try and make this work and make it stick and do it the right way.
Well, after seeing this, I mean, I loved WandaVision as the first Marvel Disney Plus series, but I feel like this is more along the lines of what the fans of the series and the people that's been following the Avengers are going to be ready for. And I'm excited to see the reaction that you guys going to get when this premieres to the audience. Thanks for doing a great job. Can't wait to see the rest of the episodes. I'm hoping that we're going to see Wolverine pop in there, but I know you can't say nothing if that's going to happen or not. But we'll see what happens, and keep on doing it, man. We'll keep on following and supporting you, bro.
Great. Appreciate it, Jamal. Thank you.
Right.
Buck, I have a plan.
Oh, yeah? What is it?
Is you ready?
Here we go again, huh?
We've been grinding hard on the job. Can't take that from us.
Jamal Finkley, BLACKTREE TV. Emily, first, great speaking to you. And out of all the characters, like I think sometimes it gets overlooked, like how much of the lore you've already been in the Marvel series. But how was it to see it transfer, like from just the cinematic world to this new streaming world, and these stories continue?
I think it's great. I honestly think that, there are so many stories that still need to be told, because obviously in the films you get 2+ hours to tell, so many different stories and service so many different characters. So it's kind of refreshing to get more time with some of these characters that are so loved, and, to see Sam and Bucky together and that amazing dynamic, and to get 6 hours, I think is really special. And I think if there's ever a time for these new streaming platforms, it's now. It's just very cool to be a part of. And I also think that, the quality was not compromised. I mean, when I watched it, even though it was, earlier cuts, I was just blown away by what I was seeing, and the fact that, we were able to do this and have it be in this like television platform. So I'm really jazzed about it.
So I know, like, there's, if you go to the comic world, Sharon Carter's character, has a lot of different storylines, and I wonder, like, with all this time, do you think we'll ever get to really delve into more a first story that translates into the comics? And how excited would you be if that were to happen?
I mean, I love it. And I think it's been really cool to explore Sharon independent of Cap and Steve, and, just the sort of wide-eyed young agent that she once was. It's been really cool to see who she is now. And that's a very different person, much more sort of, she's hardened and, feels, abandoned and left behind in many ways. And so, yeah, we get a very different version of Sharon already. And, it's been fun to kind of explore that.
I always wonder, because there's so many, great actors that had like a discipline and dance and stuff like you had. And I wonder, like, for me, I used to be a runner way back in the day. And, I won't act like I run now, but I can still do it. But I wonder, as like, do you ever get to do that now in this point of your career? Do you still get to dance and do that stuff? Is that something that you still enjoy, like when you were doing it?
I mean, I'm similar to you. Very much used to be a dancer.
Yeah.
And now, I enjoy watching it, and I definitely think it stays with you. And that was really helpful, when we were choreographing these fight sequences and fight training and all of that, just to like remember how to get back into your body and do those kind of physical sequences. But yeah, I'm not like out dancing, and that ballet thing is long gone for me. But it's definitely helpful to have had the training.
All right, and last question. I've been asking all of the cast, like, about the weight of the shield. And like there's a hesitance for Falcon and Winter Soldier and everybody to take that shield up. And I wonder, like, as a woman, do you ever feel like that there's a weight of standing up for all women in general or something like that? Is that ever a weight that you have to be hesitant to carry in real life?
I think always, whenever you're a public figure of sorts, that you want to be someone that, specifically kids can look up to. And, in this sort of platform in the MCU, in this world, you definitely have an opportunity to really kind of showcase that, and strong women for sure. And all of that. So yeah, definitely. It's a great kind of platform to do that for sure.
All right. Always good talking to you, Emily.
Good to
take
talk
care.
to you. Thank you.
If we do this,
How you doing, Adam Apparel?
I'm good. How you
See
doing,
you.
Jamal?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. First, I gotta say that it's been. I first met you in Sundance way back when you was doing the short for Pariah in Park City, and it's been great to see your career go from there to here. But my first question is Chadwick Boseman. Chadwick Boseman's been getting all the glory and all the stuff this year for his performance in Ma Rainey, and I guess for his career. And I wonder, like, just as a part of now the Marvel universe, how much of a change was that for you as an actor to see the response to that movie and to see how people were gravitated towards these superheroes to like just making this gig so much, just cooler to be here in the Falcon and Winter Soldier.
You mean like Black Panther to Falcon and Winter Soldier?
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen.
Yeah. Just for like.
Yeah, like everybody was so excited. We were all so excited to have Black Panther come to fruition. Like, I don't know if everyone involved understands, because they're so in it. It's hard to kind of like see when you're so in it. I'm not sure, but the energy was so palpable. Like on my family group chat, the WhatsApp chat, like we were waiting for the day where we could all buy our tickets and go to the Alamo and watch it as a group. And like, what are we all wearing? Like, you know what I mean? And you felt that, you saw that all over the country. So again, we've been talking about it ad nauseum, but we'll never get sick of it. Like, representation obviously matters. Like, everyone should see themselves reflected in movies, in media, in a very authentic and true way. And so what we've been seeing in the past, I don't know how many years, is we're seeing that, and we're seeing people claiming their stories and being able to tell their own stories, and people supporting that. And so then cut to, where we are today, where I'm sitting with you talking about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier that, has created an opportunity to speak on some really deep, complex issues that many of us are facing, and that many of us are facing, period, mixed with the action and knowing that, oh, wow, that it is possible to be a part of something that is doing both things. It's like entertainment, because I love action films. I love Marvel movies, but also like bring in real issues, Yeah.
And speaking of which, like the issue that your cinematic brother Falcon is dealing with it, and the power to carry the shield, to represent, to be hesitant to be like a representative of all of Black America, or all this, just just to have that weight of the shield. Like, how do you deal with that as an actress and as a Nigerian American and all this stuff, like to just carry the weight of so many people that are connected to you in a different way also, and is that a heavy weight for you ever, like that shield?
That's a great question. Beautiful question. I think when I find myself being bogged down by all the things that are happening, when I feel myself being bogged down by things that are happening to people like really close to me, I have to think about my parents and people from before. Even as an actor, me being able to be here and sit and talk with you, how many people came before me who didn't have the opportunities, who stayed true and, lived so that I can sit here and I can talk to you, talking about being part of the MCU. Like, I can't even act like like I am because of them. Like, it may feel corny to say, but it is so true. And when you really get the weight of that, and when I think about my parents, like, my literal job is to dream as big as I possibly can, because my parents sacrificed, before it's like our ancestors, like that is our literal job. And thank God we live in this time that is fraught and flawed and complex, but there's so much available. The fact that we're talking to each other over a computer, like, what I mean? If you wanted to make a film or whatever it is you want to do, now we're seeing examples of people who look like us, no matter who you are, you know what I mean? Whether you're Black or, Asian or transgender, like we're able to see ourselves reflected in so many ways. And so that's what's beautiful about what's happening now. And our job is to dream as big as we possibly can and to go as far as we possibly can.
Yeah. Well, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. Big fan of yours. My daughter's at Cornell right now as a freshman, so she's a fan of you too. So take
Thank
care.
you.
Can't wait to see you on the other side of the pandemic.
Thank you so much,
Take
Jamal.
care, Paro.
Thank you. Bye.
Look at you, picture back there. I just noticed that. Sorry, Jamal.
Jamal Finkley, BLACKTREE TV. How you doing, Kari?
Very nice to meet you.
This is I mean, I think the whole Disney Plus launch of the Marvel series has been unique, and I appreciate Marvel's kind of unique format and task in doing it. But when you look back at the last several years, when they had the Netflix series, and even going into the first series of WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier seems a little bit different. Like how is the approach? How did Kevin talk to you and Malcolm about putting this together, and how's the approach different than the other Marvel TV series that preceded it?
Well, you mean WandaVision? Because this is Marvel has not done a series before, so yeah. Any Marvel done before was Disney Netflix, which was a whole different team. So they from the beginning, Kevin and gang, it was all very much we're making a movie. We're making a 6-hour movie. That's what we know how to make. That's what we're going to make. So as a result, that's what people are seeing. We really feel like it is one of the Marvel movies, and the action sequences, everything is of that, of that caliber. So and the humor and it ticks all the boxes. What has been great though is Kevin is also very articulate about and very clear about saying, make it your own. It's your film, make it your film. And so you, as a filmmaker, there's a lot of license to, there's no Marvel formula that you're following. You're very much telling the story that you're telling. And, they've brought me in to do that. And so they want me to use, they don't want to tell me how to tell the story. They want me to bring what I do to tell the story. So it's, I think, a filmmaker friendly environment.
Well, I don't trust Red Wing. Hold on a minute.
You don't have to trust Red Wing. But I'm gonna go see if he's right. Because I have a feeling they might be a part of the big three.
What big three?
The big three.
What big three?
Androids, aliens, and wizards.
That's not a thing.
That's definitely a thing.
No, it's not.
So every time we fight one of the three.
So who are you fighting now, Gandalf?
How do you know about Gandalf?
I read The Hobbit in 1937 when it first came out.
So you see my point?
No, I don't. There are no wizards.
Doctor Strange
is a sorcerer.
A sorcerer is a wizard without a hat. Think about it, right? I'm right. I just came up with that. It's crazy. But look, that's not the point. These guys aren't magical, all right? They use brute force, just like you. The incredibly annoying guy in front of me with the staring problem.
I just know when you look at, I don't want to, do studio comparisons, but Marvel's been very good at their lineage of having one show introduce things that we're going to see in the future and everything else. So how far outside of, Falcon and the Winter Soldier do you guys look when you're creating this product? I mean, do you look at what's going to happen in Loki and everything else? Is that all a part of the creation, or do you solely focus on just this?
We solely focus on just this, and if it organically comes out of it, now there might be other plans that I don't know about, but no one told us that you must put this in, or this is going to feed that, or whatever. There was never a conversation like that. It's very much tell this story. I make the best of this story, excuse me, and service that, and service these characters. So they while they do it incredibly well, it seems very organic. I don't know. It's a magical touch they have.
I know in 2018 when you were up for the Emmys, you was like the only female in the category at that time, and a lot of things have changed. A lot hasn't. But I feel like that it was some, I don't want to say hesitance, but I mean it's a pressure to speak for women that may not have got there before. And when I look at Captain America and Passion of the Shield and everything that's going on with that, it's either reluctant heroes or reluctant villains when you're looking at Winter Soldier and Bucky. Do you feel any relationship to those characters, and where it's like it's a heavy thing to carry, to be this person, to represent Captain America, to represent, you know, women getting pay equity and opportunity equity in this industry. Do you feel like that's a heavy weight like the Shield?
That's a great question. I feel like it's an important weight. And I feel really honored that I'm one of the team of women that are coming up, you know, into their own. I mean, obviously I've been doing this for 30 years, so this is not new for me. And I busted through a bunch of glass ceilings, or tried to, through time. So I don't know. I think I've been very aware that if I make a mistake, I make a mistake for the entire gender. So I have to be very careful that you know, that I am always making sure that I'm, you know, on my game, and I'm not undermining, because people have been very judgmental. Oh, she's a problem, so therefore all women are a problem, or whatever it is, right? A man can get away with being authoritarian, and a woman can't. So it changes how you do things. Now, in the last few years, since Handmade, and since the world has changed, and I do feel more than ever that women are able to speak up, and they're able to be who they are, and I don't have to check myself quite so much. And I have, you know, the ramifications don't seem quite so severe. So we are evolving. I think diversity across the board is evolving, and the doors are opening finally. And by the way, I had this conversation in probably the 70s. So this is not a new conversation, you know, in terms of feminism, in terms of racism, all of the other things. So what's great is that we're having it again, and I feel like the needle is moving. And a series like this that is making the needle move. We're embracing conversations in this show that are long overdue. What is the Shield? What does it represent? What does Captain America represent? What does it mean for a Black man to pick up that shield? Does he want to? You know?
Yeah.
And right. And so these are really important conversations. We also embrace nationalism. You know, we question, what is it to be a hero? What is a hero? What's the definition of a hero today as compared to the hero of the 1940s, which is a very different person? You know, one was a warrior soldier, and now a hero is a first responder. And that's a very new idea, new concept.
Yeah. Well, I'm really excited about this show. It's great. I was excited about WandaVision, but just seeing the first episode is blowing my mind. I know that the fans are going to be super excited. And thanks for taking the time, and thanks for giving such great answers and insightful answers.
Oh, thank you.
Take care.
All right. Be well. Thank you for the picture.